podcast. We are live and in action. It is week 14 of the NFL. For a lot of people, last week of their fantasy leagues for the regular season, probably jumping into playoffs. And that being said, there will be a lot of fantasy implications today. I know a lot of you guys out there want to know a little bit about fantasy, or a lot, because to be honest, the only reason we watch football anymore is fantasy. Let's be honest. Some of you might argue with that, though, because I know some Green Bay fans that, for some reason, are still ridiculous football fans outside of the betting aspect of it, even though betting's legal nationwide and has screwed up the entire sport. That got off on a tangent. But as always, you have us back here, Deep Threats, getting into these games. You only have a couple bye weeks this week. I know there was a Thursday game that was pretty much exactly what Wheels said. Don't give him too much credit before we get to him. I don't want to do that. But I will say the tight end implications in that game were a big aspect. And
you called that.
With the outs coming up today for who's not playing at tight end, you're probably going to wish you picked up a tight end in that game. So, but as always, moving on, KJAM here as the host and the wonderful co-host, Wheels.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that Thursday game was how I saw it, but as a Browns fan, that was just sweet victory. At some point, it just, how the mighty have fallen. You got issues in the locker room for Pittsburgh. You have a whole quarterback controversy. Obviously, Kenneth Pickett's not the guy. Now there's reports coming out that they're going to trade for Justin Fields in the offseason. So what is going on with that whole locker room situation? I have not seen in my 18-plus years, I'll say, of watching
I
football.
disagree.
I have not seen it with Pittsburgh.
Oh, you caveated that statement.
No, that's how
you caveated it. I know.
I have not seen a Pittsburgh locker room or team.
I'm upset that you caveated that statement, though, because we agreed with this the other day. Also, move your way into the camera. We agreed with this the other day that Urban Meyer's situation might have been just as controversial and as combative in the locker room with him kicking players and other things like that. This one's rough, right? Like,
yeah.
When you're seeing the internals break down for a couple weeks, we've kind of been calling this out on the show, and then you're seeing Tomlin not even know how to answer press conference questions and get upset with the media.
It's like I don't want to say it's Belichick-esque, but
it's not Belichick-esque, because at least Belichick, like, when he loses games, there's like we just need to play better. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
No
We're not committing out on the field. We're not.
Is Mike Tomlin turning into a old head?
I'm telling, and I've been saying this for a while, Mike Tomlin has been playing off the Cowher era, and Ben coached that offense. They haven't been able to find an offensive coordinator. Tomlin's been capable of stepping up as a defensive coordinator. They haven't really found a defensive coordinator that's kind of taken this team to the next level, kind of like what Jim Schwartz is doing in Cleveland. And I'm not trying to kudos Cleveland, but
you're bringing up examples.
There are coaches like Jim Schwartz that are capable of taking defenses to the next tier, like D'Amico Ryans going into Houston, and then you got not Steichen. What's the other dude's name that went from Philly to DC, went all the way to Arizona, is taking that defense to the next level? I can never remember his name. Steichen's the one that went to the Colts, and then you got the one that went to Arizona, and I can never remember his name. But
I can't.
you have defensive coordinators that are stepping up across the league. And to be honest, I think one of the biggest mistakes that maybe Pittsburgh made was letting go of their defensive coordinator to Minnesota in the dude from Miami that they picked up with the lawsuit.
Not Anthony Lynn. He was for the Chargers.
I can never remember this dude's name. Never. But I know they picked up the dude who had the lawsuit with the NFL, and it's escaping me. But they had him as a DC last year, and they ended up letting
Flores.
Yeah, Brian Flores. They ended up letting him go. So I think there's just a lot of implications here with what's going on this team, and they're just incapable in the coaching, the front office. And actually, somebody as a Steelers fan brought this up to me the other day, which was kind of intriguing, and I didn't know this. Their running backs coach is maintaining, I think, play calling. I could have this backwards. And their quarterbacks coach stepped up and is the offensive coordinator. So that to me is...
You have two hands in the same pot.
You have two hands in the same pot trying to stir different directions. I'm assuming that they're trying to stir different directions.
Yeah, because you have a passing-heavy offensive coordinator, offensive
and maybe a run-heavy play caller. Maybe you don't know. I don't know their tendencies, but it's not showing up on the field correctly. And this was Tomlin's job to assign somebody to that position, and it's just not working. It's not working.
Tomlin, you can tell that Tomlin's been. I agree with you to a point that he has definitely built off the Cowher era, but outside of the one Super Bowl that Mike Tomlin has won,
which is the Cowher era,
and
that was the year after
the above 500 seasons, what has Tomlin done?
I would argue the above 500 seasons, and most people know me. I'm not a big Ben fan, but I would argue that a lot of that was Ben's ability to pick defenses apart, right, and throw the ball downfield. That's what I would argue. But let's not. I'm not going to dive too into Pittsburgh today. What we're going to do, we don't really want to talk too much about that Steelers game and the Patriots game because we've already come to this conclusion that both these teams are kind of figuring out what's going on in that front office, and we're trying to. Yeah. They're trying to dictate what they're going to do coming up to the draft because as of right now, and I think the Steelers are in such a bad situation when it comes to the draft. As of right now, the New England Patriots are tied with Arizona for the second overall pick, and actually New England outbeats them, I think, because of strength of schedule. So New England is the number 2 pick in the draft, and this will be the first time in 23 years that Bill Belichick has had a top 5 pick. That is in 23 years that Bill Belichick has had a top 5 pick. First time in 23 years that Bill Belichick has had a top 5 pick.
Because Mac Jones was, 10th?
Yes.
Okay.
So this will be the first time. And maybe he doesn't even pick. Maybe he trades and tries to add capital. I mean, that sounds like a Belichick thing. So I wouldn't be shocked. And then you got the Steelers who now with that loss, and this could change because I think they have a very easy strength of schedule coming up depending on which way it goes. But the Steelers are at 18th. They're middle of the road. So a quarterback might be out of the question. So trading... Well, I think a starting quarterback at 18 might be out of the question.
You got to think. So you got probably 4 quarterbacks going on the top 20.
Right. And maybe. And we've had this conversation.
Yeah, Drake may drop.
Here's the thing. Maybe we'll get in this for a couple seconds. Let's get in this for a couple seconds. So I'm going to ramble off the teams. Write down who you think needs a quarterback, okay? You have Chicago at 1.
No.
Well, I said write it down.
I can't write that fast.
Just Chai check or Chai X, right? Yes or no?
You're lucky to get me to be able to read at the same time.
All right. Chicago 1.
Okay.
New England 2. Arizona 3. Washington 4. Chicago 5. New York Jets 6. New York Giants 7. Tennessee Titans 8. New Orleans 9. Tampa Bay 10. Las Vegas 11. Chargers 12. Denver 13. Buffalo 14. Seattle 15. Rams 16. Cincy 17. Pittsburgh 18. We'll hold it right there. That's half of the league. It's a little over half of the league.
Okay.
So give me how many teams need a quarterback in the top 18.
New England, the Jets, New Orleans, Las Vegas, the Rams, and Pittsburgh.
Okay, so
Chicago,
we got 6.
I don't think Chicago moves off Justin Fields. I think it would be.
I'm glad you didn't say that because I think based on what I'm seeing, Chicago, the only reason that team's kind of winning games is because of Justin Fields' tenacity and ability to compete.
And I think a lot of it's play calling. But we'll move on. So
we agree that Eberflus was not the guy.
No, not at all.
Okay, so New England, right? We already agreed that Arizona
6 in the top 18.
6 in the top 18 that need a quarterback. Well,
New England.
So go over that first. What was the first one? I'll agree with you or not.
New England.
Okay, we agree with New England. Even though I think Bailey Zapp's production might allow them to wait. Right?
The Jets. I think they trade down.
Yeah,
but I think they need a quarterback because
I don't think they need a quarterback because I think they are still fully sold on Aaron Rodgers, and I think Aaron Rodgers is probably going to extend his contract if he stays healthy for another year. That's so.
You got to find your future.
I don't place that as high demand for the Jets as I do a tackle, right?
I get that.
Right?
I don't disagree with that.
Okay.
A lot of people are going to say Washington.
No.
I don't. I think
Washington's sold on
Sam
Howell.
Howell's the guy.
I think Sam Howell is their franchise quarterback.
I just wanted to bring that up because same with Will Levis. I know people. I think Will Levis is the guy. You got to give him some more weapons. You got to give him a little bit better offensive line.
Now, it's funny that you say that because I think that Tennessee is the one where if you're going to draft a quarterback, Tennessee is the team that could draft a quarterback and reach and create a competition for two young quarterbacks to win the starting job. Because Malik Willis, right? Not the guy, right?
We called that.
Right?
That dude, yeah.
And Tannehill, last season, no more money.
He's done.
No more money. He's a guy that's going to be a filler somewhere.
Yeah.
So, but I agree with you in these situations. Now, the New Orleans, I don't know if it's the Derek Carr having 5 concussions this year is a factor. But I don't know if you signed Derek Carr for 3 years. I think you have to give him another year.
You know who's really missing Derek Carr? It's another team who needs a quarterback is Las Vegas. They screwed him over.
But this is the same situation in Las Vegas. You signed Jimmy Garoppolo for 3 years.
Yeah, but they're not starting Jimmy. They're starting Aiden O'Connell now.
That's the weird part, right? Because you're
Aiden
starting.
O'Connell's not playing bad. I liked him when he was at Purdue, but obviously he is not. He's not winning you that division.
I don't know if he's mature enough, right?
Yeah, it's just there's
he might.
There's a lot with that team that just needs revamped. I think you need to look for a trade partner for Devontae Adams this offseason, get some picks back maybe. Josh Jacobs, I would keep him. He's still young. He still produces.
Well,
Max
I don't know if they
Crosby.
signed Josh Jacobs because of the premium on running backs this year. And if I'm a running back division, I'm going to tell you right now, the way the running backs are getting fined right now, I say they all should hold out together. And that is just me personally, and I'm not a players guy, but the way they're getting fined for running, I think every running back in the NFL should hold out next season.
I don't hate that.
They should
I'm
band
surprised
together.
To see you say that.
They should ban. You know what? It's one thing to have teams against you. It's another thing to have the entire NFL fine you for running the ball like a regular running back. Like Breece Hall got fined $40,000
$42,000
for just running up the
43.
sideline and dropping his helmet. You're preparing for impact.
There's a lot of questionable call. It comes down to not only the refs but just the NFL as a whole.
The NFL should stop the fining. I don't care if you give me a penalty. Stop the fining for being a running
Findings
back.
are made for egregious tendencies, right?
Correct. At least that's what I thought.
Like,
I mean,
it's no different than a speeding ticket. You got to have some leniency. Hey, I passed a cop going 10 over. Most of the time, they let you go, do they not?
yeah, 9-year fine, 10-year mine. That's what most cops will tell you.
15 is...
That's state troopers.
Yeah, okay.
State troopers is 14. State troopers is under 14.
Yeah.
You're good. And then 15 or over, they'll pull you over in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's over a $200
ticket. Twice by state troopers. I know.
Yeah.
I was going 93 to 6.
Sorry if we're giving up state trooper information right now, but that's from what I know. That's from many people I've talked to. That's what they tell me.
So,
But now the other one, did you say Rams?
Rams and Pittsburgh both. Because you got to remember.
I
Stetson
agree with
Bennett
the Pittsburgh argument,
still
right?
out.
But my only issue with Pittsburgh is you drafted him in the first round, right?
You're going on his third year.
You're going on his third year, and you have to declare his fourth year at the end of next year, whether you're going to take his fifth year, right? I said that backwards. I apologize.
You got to take his.
You have to
50 on the
declare
fourth
before his fourth year whether or not you're going to take his fifth year.
And they're not. I'm going to tell you right now, they're not.
I don't know. He has an over 500 record, right?
So-
Like, I don't know.
If Pittsburgh doesn't draft a quarterback, and you might hate me for this take, but you know a quarterback who is currently on another AFC team that would look very good with that team is Mac Jones. I know they're similar in areas, but I think Mac Jones has a better arm. He's better accurate.
I think the issue with Mac Jones going to the Steelers is coaching. He's already in a coaching turmoil situation right now. He's not getting along with coach. I don't think that's going to be a good locker room fit. If the Steelers want to get better, I don't think that's going to be a good locker room fit for that team. Now, I don't disagree that Mac's going to have the ability to compete somewhere, and it might be on a team like Washington.
Mac will be like Baker.
Tampa Bay. You might be on a team like Tampa Bay
like
where
Baker.
Mac might go there, or he might go to a team as a backup, because this would be hilarious, to the 49ers.
I don't hate that.
Because Mac Jones was drafted to be Brock Purdy for the Patriots. Consistent,
Yeah.
pocket presence, calm and collect. Like that's why Belichick drafted Mac Jones, because his pocket presence and his ability to compete on the field.
It's just my issue with
Composure.
With Bill is they have given him the drafting duties for how many years, and he has struggled outside of Brady and Gronk. They can draft wide receivers. They have trouble drafting offensive linemen.
Well, we like Kayshon Boutte. The only issue with Kayshon is that he just hasn't seen the field all year.
And he's been injured all year.
And I don't... Who did he draft? Kendrick Bourne?
I believe so, but Kendrick Bourne's had one good year. This was his best year, and he was injured halfway through.
I agree.
My issue is on the defensive side of the ball, Bill can draft very good, but offensive side, outside of Gronk, I don't think he's drafted.
I mean, I think he drafted Alex Hernandez, but...
But I'm saying I don't think he's drafted another Pro Bowler since Gronk. I don't think he has.
I'd have to go back and look at it. I'm not going to say off the top of my head. I mean, I kind of agree with you probably. Because in the recent era, he's signed everybody off free agency. So
signs and trades and stuff like that. And a couple years ago was his biggest free agency.
But see, that argument to me is kind of like lazy, because if you look at the Rams, they do the same thing.
But the Rams, they haven't had a first-round draft pick, and this would be the first...
they trade their picks to get proven talent.
And that's the thing. But
that's what Belichick does.
Well, they sold out for a Super Bowl. You're seeing that with the Rams now.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean technically, the Rams are in the wild card right now. So
they won't be for long.
Let me look at that really quick, because I want to make sure I'm accurate on that statement. But I'm pretty sure Rams are...
I think they're seventh. Or there might be in the hunt, actually.
I think they're in the hunt for some reason. I have that feeling.
They are ninth.
Yeah, because I think Green Bay surpassed them.
Yep, Green Bay surpassed them when they beat them.
Yeah.
Or when they they're playing the Giants this week. Shit.
Yeah, Green Bay's got a rough one this week. I don't know why I can't get the standings.
The standings, I have them right here.
Because you should be able to look at standings and then current playoff. Oh, you know what? I'm staring right at the page. What am I doing? Playoff picture right here. I'm staring right. Jesus, that came back, dude. If you guys saw that on camera, that was probably. I have a screenshot button, but I couldn't screenshot myself that fast. Holy cow! All right, so currently playoff picture right now, and I know you guys can't see this. You have Miami with the bye for the AFC, currently in playoffs. And you have the Eagles with the bye for the NFC. Both those teams are in first place. Now, from there on, AFC, Ravens 2, Chiefs 3, Jacksonville 4, Browns 5, Colts 6, Texans 7th. This is funny because
if the Browns...
I said that the entire AFC North would be in the playoffs. I never thought that the entire AFC South would be in the playoffs. Outside of the Titans, right?
So
that's funny.
I think as much as I'm going to hate to say this, and you're going to hate me for it, I think the Colts drop out to the Broncos by the end of the year.
I think that's depending on what happens, because the Colts play the Steelers next week, bro.
The Texans could definitely do too.
The Colts play the Steelers next week, though.
The Steelers.
Right, but
they're struggling to put up double digits.
I'm giving the Colts a win in that game, so that puts the Colts at 8-5.
I guess, yeah. And
9-5.
Have to play the Chargers twice too.
9-5, depending on depending on who the Colts play this week. Cincinnati, so they have the ability to go 9-5. So I could see the Colts going in first place if the Jags win, or the Jags lose today. Now, in the NFC, second place, 49ers.
Oh, the Browns
third.
Them. That quarterback's not too good, right?
We're not going to go there. Third, Lions. Fourth, Atlanta. Fifth, Dallas. So Dallas is a wild card. Vikings, 6th. And Packers, 7th.
And you have essentially a divisional game, obviously, tonight with the Eagles and Cowboys to figure out.
Now, give me 1 second, because you have a tie between the Vikings, who are at 6, the Packers at 7, the Seahawks at 8, and the Rams at 9. Just for all you people out there who say the NFC is better than the AFC, keep in mind all the NFC teams that are competing for playoffs are above 500, and all the AFC teams that are competing for playoffs are above 500, and all the NFC teams competing for playoffs are 500 or below. Keep that in mind, because Tampa Bay's in the hunt at 5-7. So, and their division winner is 6-6.
It's just.
It's pretty bad when the NFC's wild card. Somebody asked me.
You're right. The Colts are going to make it. Bengals,
I think the Colts have the ability to make it.
The Texans are going to be the one that scares me. Us too, obviously.
If the Colts make it and the Browns tie with the Colts, we get a higher seed.
Well, because we beat
them. That's why I think it's funny. So, all right, getting into the games this week. We're going to get into the games this week. I know we wanted to get on a tangent today, right? We wanted to get in some stuff. We're going to probably get through some of these games fairly quick today because of all the injuries. We're going to have to keep all that up for us. So what we're going to do, and if this might help you, if you pull up the NFL, you'll see the order I'm going in. If you pull up NFL matchups, this way you'll see the order I'm going in. Go to NFL.com and then go to matchups. This way you know the order I'm going in. Tampa Bay, Atlanta. Okay, so we're going to get into this game a little bit just because of fantasy relevance. But this game, to me, does not matter too much with the Bucs in Atlanta. Now, it's a division. Whoever wins this game could swap, right?
You got some big injuries for Tampa.
Okay, give me the injuries for both teams.
Jamal Dean, corner, and Devin White, linebacker.
Is it Devin or Devon?
It's Devin. Devin.
Okay.
Devin White.
Devin. Oh,
middle linebacker.
That's probably rude. I probably shouldn't have done that.
Questionable is KJ Britt and Vita Vea.
KJ Britt. Vita Vea.
Yeah. And then Atlanta, you have Nate Ladman out.
You know, we only do injuries for Wheels just so we can pronounce names.
Lakeil London out. Caleb McGarry out. And David Anyameda out. Or Anyameda.
I can't remember. I know who it is. I know who it is. I just can't remember how to say his last name. I'll give you credit for that one.
I can't pronounce.
I think it's Animata, but I can't remember how to say his
last names, and I am sorry.
Yeah, we need to both go through like Samoan speech class because that's becoming the entire NFL lately. You just pronounce Vita Vea. I think he's Samoan.
Yeah, he is Samoan.
All right, so implications here. I think Cade Otton is probably going to have to be a stardom this week. Going against his secondary, playing underneath.
With the tight ends that are out.
With the tight ends that are coming out. Atlanta. Jonnu Smith healthy? Yeah, you didn't say his name.
Mac Hollins and AJ Terrell are both questionable, along with Mike Hughes and Jeff Okudah.
If Mac Hollins is dealing with injury, and I think that you have to kind of look at Kyle Pitts this week for sure, along with Jonnu Smith.
What about Drake London? Is he?
Are
you out on Drake London?
No, I love Drake London in this game.
I feel like Drake London can be Drake London has the ability to be a top 15 or wide receiver.
I love Drake London in this game. I think he will be very productive in this game. Probably
top 15 fantasy, not top
6 or 7 targets.
Overall. I think he's been getting about 4 to 6 a game. It's just, I think that's another team that the play calling is just stunting the team's growth overall, I feel like.
No, it's quarterback play. Desmond Ridder isn't what I expected him to be.
I agree at that aspect of that, but I still feel like you need to throw the ball more.
Drake London got 5, 7, 4, and then 0 at Minnesota. So, and he only caught 1 last week. But here's what I'll tell you. I would put Drake London somewhere around that 15 to 16 rate this week. I think Drake London gets the touchdown. So if you're betting anytime touchdowns, I think it goes to Drake London. And then Bijan is going to have a field day against this Tampa Bay defense, which, to be honest, I don't know what's been going on with this Tampa Bay defense. I don't think they're ranking very highly right now in Tampa Bay. And to be honest, I have it on a different page. Don't ever do this much stats. It's insane. I mean, you know it. When you start looking at stuff like this, it drives you insane. All right, so rushing yards per game. Where's Tampa Bay? Bottom of the barrel is giving up 356.9 yards per game total. So they're pretty much bottom of the barrel when it comes to defensive yards. And then
Overall,
they're giving up.
Their passing has fallen off. 260 nearly passing and 100 rushing.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
So the rushing defense is essentially what saves them in games sometimes.
You think? The 100 yards rushing?
I think that, I mean, you have the Browns are giving up 107. There's only the best team.
They're tied with the Browns in points per game.
Yeah. I mean, the Niners are only giving up 79 yards. You got the Patriots giving up 88 yards. And then Chicago, another team, only giving up 79 rushing.
Yeah, so here's what I'll say. Is I think that Atlanta's offense can have a field day today. I think it will be a good day in Atlanta.
They will have a field day.
I think that Tampa Bay, this to me is one of those games where I can see higher scoring, like 34 to 28.
Okay.
I want to root for Mike Evans to make it to the playoffs again.
Well, he has his 1,000-yard season.
Yeah, he does. So here's what I'll say. I'll say Atlanta edges out Tampa Bay in this game, 28 to 25. Atlanta. That's what I'm going to say in this game.
I'm going to take Tampa. I think Tampa wins by 10. I think it's 24-14.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, to be honest with you, like, I want to take Tampa because that evens out the division. They're tied, and Tampa has the one up on them.
And we've been keeping a weekly scoring sheet, and KJ has beaten me, I think, the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, but you beat me in primetime games.
I show up when it matters, Steve.
Yeah, like you've definitely beat me in primetime games, which has been pretty impressive, actually.
You did say you think that
this over-under is 41 too, by the way.
So I have it at 38.
So you took the under, I took the over.
Yeah, I took the under, you took the over. You're at 53.
We need to start tracking our over-under accuracy. Just saying, we need to start tracking it. We're gonna try to create like a Google Docs that I can bring it up and maybe have him make it active on Facebook, or we can just show our. Well, we can just show it if it's active on Facebook. We can go back and look at our accrued. It'd be pretty cool. All right. Any stardoms in this game that, like, obviously Mike Evans is not a definite stardom.
Mike Evans, you start.
Can you start Desmond Ridder?
No.
You don't think so? Think too many interceptions and sacks is going to hurt
not
his
against
production?
Tampa. As much as we just
said that Atlanta would score.
But the problem is if Tampa goes up, they have to pass. I think Antonio Winfield has an interception.
Antoine Winfield.
I always say Antonio. Antoine Winfield. I'm sorry, Antoine. I am sorry.
No, he's not. But it's okay. You're not Samoan.
You're not. You're American.
I don't know what he is. I would assume he's American.
But so I think Antoine has an interception, and I think he throws a total of 2 interceptions today. That's why I have Tampa winning.
Antoine Winfield, does he have he's got 1 interception, 2 interceptions all year.
Oh, he's about to get his 3rd.
And he just had an interception last game against Carolina.
Oh, he's about to get his 3rd. It's going to be gift-wrapped, thrown out straight at his chest.
Gift-wrapped? Is that gift-wrapped for Christmas? He's grifting.
Grifty.
All right, so we like this game. It's just there's not a lot going on here because it's one of the worst divisions in the NFL. All right.
You're not wrong.
Moving on. LA Rams going into Baltimore. This team had just upset Cleveland, but Cleveland went into LA. This is where I get upset at scheduling. You had Cleveland, worst team, had to go into Seattle. They lost. Cleveland, worst team, had to go into Denver. They lost. Cleveland, worst team, had to go into LA. They lost. Baltimore. LA going into Baltimore.
Wait.
We played Denver away, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because we played a Mile High.
The Rams away. Yeah,
right.
it was on the road.
Right.
Seattle away.
And then, so what happens is you have Seattle went into Baltimore. They lost. LA going into Baltimore. I have a feeling LA loses this game. And I don't know if they played.
I don't think so. I think
Denver.
The Rams win.
I mean, I love the way the Rams are trending, but off a bye week, I don't think so. They had 2 weeks to prepare for the Rams. So
I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna take the Rams.
I just don't like the favoritism of the Baltimore Ravens got better scheduling at home and the Browns got worse scheduling away. Like, it sucks. Our home schedule is against worse teams outside of this week in Jacksonville. Like, this is probably the hardest game we're going to play at home. All right. So, fantasy implication. Well, actually, give me your injuries.
Los Angeles, doubtful. Tyler Higbee. Questionable is Michael Hot. Don't know how to say that name. That's my best pronunciation.
Hot.
Quentin Lake. Byron Young. And then questionable for Baltimore is Malik Harrison, and DeMarno Williams.
Okay, so I don't think there's a lot.
No.
I don't think there's a lot here.
Maybe, I mean, the Tyler Higbee being questionable hurts.
Actually, Tyler Higbee's doubtful.
Doubtful, yes. Not
Yeah, so this is one of those tight ends that's probably going to be out. Can you play the backup? I don't think so.
No, not against the Ravens linebackers. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think you have to play Cooper Kupp if you're in fantasy. I think you have to. And I will say
Cooper.
I will say the matchup for the Ravens is a little bit tougher because their corners are not as good as the Browns. So I would say that I agree with you.
Award last week too. You got to remember.
And Puka's dealing with a shoulder injury. So I wouldn't be shocked if Puka's maybe limited, but they have Josh Reynolds, is that his name? I always screw this kid's name up.
Tutu Atwell. No, Josh Reynolds is the Detroit.
Palmer? Is it Josh Palmer?
No, Joshua Palmer plays for the Chargers.
Oh, maybe just okay. So Tutu might be a sneaker this week because Tutu's had pretty decent games. Tutu's had some pretty decent games when Puka's been out.
Well, I am taking the Rams 17-14. I think
I'm going to take the best team in the NFL right now. I'm going to take the Ravens.
Okay. What's your score, buddy?
I'll go 24-21. I think it'll stay close. I'm going to take Ravens. I think stardoms for me, I think you can start Stafford.
Oh, I would start Stafford over Desmond Ridder.
Yeah, I think you start Stafford. Obviously, Puka, Cooper. Kyron.
Kyron Williams, yeah.
Kyron. And for the Baltimore Ravens, I think you kind of have to start Zay, especially coming off a bye. A lot more production probably with Lamar.
I would start Zay.
Obviously, Lamar.
I would start OBJ. I think this could be a OBJ.
We said that with Mark Andrews out, OBJ in. I agree.
Yeah, 6 catches, 60 yards, and a touchdown.
Does Keaton Mitchell get more touches this week than Gus?
Yes. I think Keaton gets a couple more gadget touches where end arounds and some trick plays. I think jet sweeps.
Here's the question everybody's asking, right? This is what everybody's asking. Who's the higher fantasy producer this week? Keaton or Gus?
Gus, just because of the fact that Gus gets goal line work. I'm gonna give me what they use is they use Gus goal line.
Okay, so you like him for the touchdown production.
Yeah, but if you are going off PPR, and maybe if you get some bonus points for big yardage plays, I would use Keaton. But if you're a touchdown heavy league,
I agree with that.
You go Gus.
I agree with that. So if you're in like a half PPR, I'd probably go Gus.
Yeah, but if you're in full PPR,
I'd probably lean more towards Keaton. I agree with that.
I think they're still saving Keaton a little bit more for
the playoffs. I agree. I've been telling Ryan this. He's like, I don't understand it. Why don't you just play the best running back?
Because you're leading the division, you're up.
You don't need to injure him.
No.
Correct.
And Gus Edwards, you're not paying anything.
Now, 2 questions here, right? So, is Isaiah likely a startable tight end this week?
Yes, against this Rams linebacker core, I do believe he's a startable, but I don't think he gets a touchdown.
So you're looking like an 8 to 9 point game.
I have him under 40 yards, so yeah.
So 5 receptions, 40 yards, puts you at 9. In full PPR.
He could have a big game.
Is Zach Ertz going to sign with the Ravens?
It's either going to be the Ravens or Philly.
Okay. So that's your 50-50 shot.
I mean, there was reports that the Dallas wanted him, and Zach Ertz said pretty much, suck on my big toe, I'm not going to Dallas.
If Cleveland wins this week, does Zach Ertz have a chance to come to Cleveland? Double tight end sets.
I don't want Zach Ertz.
Stefanski double tight end sets.
I don't want Zach Ertz.
I agree. I just know Stefanski's tendencies.
I don't want Zach Ertz.
You're like half off the screen.
I'm sorry.
You can see yourself in 5 different angles.
I'm trying to.
It's driving me insane.
I don't like. I
didn't mean to bring up the Browns. I'm just kind of curious.
No, I don't like that for the
All
Browns.
right. So I took the Ravens. You took the Rams. So far, we're opposites on both games.
We've been opposites on everything since.
All right, and
Thursday.
it's gonna be this way coming into the week. I lost Thursday. You won Thursday. So prime time.
21-17 was my score.
Detroit going into Chi-Town, and Chicago's coming off the greatest win in history. Just kidding. They won 12-10. It was disgusting.
Okay, so out for the Lions is Hendon Hooker, obviously, quarterback.
No, the backup quarterback's out.
Their center, Frank Ragnow, out. Questionable is Malcolm Rodriguez, linebacker, and out for the, I do know how to say this dude's name, is Chicago, is Amon-Ra St. Brown's brother, Equanimous St. Brown
He
is out.
almost screwed it up.
I know.
I know how to say this.
Equanimous is out. Velas Jones Jr. is questionable. Defensive end Yannick Ngakoue is questionable. And wide receiver Tyler Scott is questionable.
Isn't it tough to like say names when you read them, but you hear them, you're like, oh, that's it. That's who we're talking about.
I know that.
Yannick Ngakoue, like you knew that, but trying to read that on paper sucks sometimes.
I think he used to play for the Jags, actually.
I think that's right.
Or was it Baltimore? No, it was a Jags.
I don't know. I feel like every good defensive player has ever played in Baltimore, so it's kind of hard to say. So Detroit going to Chicago. We would like to call Detroit pretenders because they have struggled, but they are, what'd you say, the second best offense in the NFL right now?
They are the second best offense in the NFL,
okay.
right behind Miami.
All right. Well, that's skewed. 70 points in a game is very skewed. All right. So starters for me this week. Amon-Ra, have to start him.
Amon-Ra, you got to start him. Sam Laporta, you got to start him.
I think you have to start him with the tight end injuries this week.
David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, you got to start him.
Yeah.
Do you start Jared Goff? I would.
I think you have to. I think he's a top 10 quarterback who's been struggling a little bit. But yeah, I think you have to start him. I don't think you're worried about the secondary.
No. This is the run defense you're worried about.
Yeah.
They're giving up, I think, 89 yards.
So maybe not Monty. Maybe not a Monty game.
I think it's Monty again. He's going to get more of the goal line.
Yeah.
And Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get more passing. They're not going to. Dan Campbell cannot afford
a loss in this game.
In division, and you drop farther down in that division with the possibility of the Green Bay Packers and the Vikings, who just got JJ back, possibly creeping back in.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you.
So this is a must-win game for Detroit.
Yeah. I mean, I think.
And you're not going to abandon the run.
This is actually tough, right?
Yeah.
So if they
lose and the Vikings win, they're only one game back or one game up on the Vikings.
I'm not worried about that because they're 3 games ahead in the wild card. So they still win a wild card, right?
Vikings are 6-6. Jesus.
That's what I'm saying. So they still get a wild card.
I thought the Vikings were 7-5. My bad.
No, 6-6, 6-6. And it's funny because Daniel keeps going. If the Packers win 8 more, they win the Super Bowl. And it's like, yeah, I understand that. You still have to get past the 49ers. Until Green Bay can prove that they can get past 49ers even without Aaron Rodgers, they might want to figure that one out.
Good luck with that.
Now, this is a tough game for me because I think Chicago's just it's the Patriots, right? Like they just enjoy finding a way to make other teams miserable.
Well, yeah, because they're miserable.
Yeah,
just ask Bo.
Last year, Justin Fields took the team on his back towards the end of the season. And I feel like this is what's been going on in this season.
There's going to be a spy all day long on Justin Fields. Without a doubt.
You can't do that with DJ Moore. You could last year when they didn't have DJ Moore. If you go spy Justin Fields and you have DJ Moore out there, I think you're going to struggle. Right?
Yes.
I don't know if that's a good decision.
So Terrell Edmonds, he is the big signing for the middle linebacking core for Chicago. Do you think he affects Sam Laporta's production at all this week?
100%. That's why, like you said to me, start Sam Laporta, and I was like, I think you have to because of the injuries at tight end.
From what happened last week, he might build onto it.
And Sam Laporta's also has that touchdown potential, right? Because they don't have a lot of big targets in the end zone outside of Craig Reynolds.
Craig Reynolds, yes.
So,
there's two Reynolds. Josh Reynolds, I believe, is the running back. Craig Reynolds is the wide receiver.
I said it backwards.
Is it? Okay.
Craig's the running back. You're right. Outside of Josh Reynolds, I don't think you have a lot of big targets in the end zone. Now, I wouldn't be shocked if my boy Brock showed up in this game.
Brock Bowers?
Brock Wright.
Oh, no,
the
Brock
tight
Bowers
end.
Is for the
Georgia. He's calling college players in NFL.
I've been watching
No, Brock Wright.
Brock Wright.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if he showed up in this game.
You know who could have a big game who has struggled all season is Jameson Williams.
No.
I think he's
just
have
bad.
a over-the-top game.
People might hate me for this take.
We agreed that we did not like him.
But Jameson Williams reminds me of Anthony Schwartz. Super fast, super quick at route running. Can't catch the ball in stride. And that's what he was paid for. To catch the ball in stride.
Yeah, who else did we say that aboard that was a first-round draft pick to the Chargers? He couldn't catch the ball in stride.
Oh, Quentin Johnston.
He's a body catcher.
And he's also a mediocre route runner, which is why Ryan called him Kelvin Benjamin.
Yeah, I posted that. I said that. I said one of my buddies called him Calvin Benjamin 2.0, and they're like, oh, that's wrong. He's going to be better. I'm like, I don't see it.
I have not seen it yet.
Rookie year than Quentin
I have not seen it yet. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick with my gut feeling this week, and I'm taking Chicago.
Okay.
And it's my gut. That's my gut feeling this week. I'm taking Chicago, and I'm going to take it in a game because Detroit's been struggling offensively. I'm going to go 20-17 Chicago. And I'm assuming I'm slamming the under in this game. Let me look at it.
2017 Chicago, okay.
Yeah.
So you're 37 overall. I'm taking Detroit to win 27-13.
So the game over-under is 43. 20.
So we're both under.
We're both under.
Yeah. That should tell you something.
All right. And Detroit's only favored by 3, by the way, which is weird.
They're in Chicago, though, right?
Yeah.
So they're essentially favored by 6.
Correct. Someone told me it was 1.5.
It just depends. I say it's a field goal usually.
Someone told me it's changed. That's what I'm saying. It's 1.5 for home field advantage.
Okay, but still they're up by 5 then.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's someone's told me that. So we'll move on from this game. Your stardom's on Chicago, by the way. Do you start Justin Fields?
Justin Fields.
Montgomery.
Montgomery's not on.
I lied.
He's playing his old team.
Khalil Herbert.
Yes.
He's a stardom. What about Jaleel McLaughlin? That's Denver. It's too many orange teams in the NFL anymore. Orange and blue. Cole Kmet.
Yes.
Another tight end that I think is going to have good production today. What about Darnell?
Washington? No.
Mooney.
Oh, God. I was going to say Darnell Washington plays.
Mooney. Does Mooney have production this week?
I think Mooney has about 10 points.
All right, that's flex. That's flex production. All right. Now there's not a lot of
weeks.
Now there's not a lot of bye weeks this week.
There's no bye week.
No, there is. There's 2 bye weeks.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm an idiot.
So your bye weeks this week are right here for all you guys out there that were wondering. If you watched the intro, I have the bye weeks there. It is Washington and the Cardinals. So you're losing Trey McBride and you're losing Logan Thomas.
Losing Logan Thomas. You're losing Trey McBride. You're losing Marquise
2 quarterbacks.
Brown. 2 quarterbacks. You're losing Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson. And James Conner.
Yeah. That's it, right?
And
Scary Terry, Curtis Samuel.
And Jahan Doxson.
And Curtis Samuel. Yeah. So I guess you are losing some pieces. There's actually a lot of weapons. Yeah. Both those are offensive producing teams. So, all right, moving on to the next game.
Colts Bengals?
No. Indy Cincinnati. Yeah, Colts Bengals.
I was about to say.
You said the
So
the mascots, and I said the cities.
Let's go for injuries. Out is as followed: Braden Smith, offensive tackle; running back Jonathan Taylor. Jeez.
JT's out for another 2 to 4 weeks. Just let you guys know.
EJ Speed and cornerback Julius Brents. Questionable are his cornerback Amir Speed. Oh, they have brothers there. I didn't realize that. Cincinnati questionable. Deontay Smith, NIR personal. Defensive tackle DJ Reader and wide receiver Tyler Boyd.
DJ Reader's out.
Questionable. That's big. That's big for the running game.
I think he'll
Moss.
play. I think Reader will play.
Deontay Smith is NIR personal.
I don't know what that means.
Maybe someone passed, or maybe he's having a kid.
It's not injured.
Not injured personal. So, but they never take off for a kid. I feel like.
Oh, if it's a game, they will. Like if their wife's in labor in the hospital, like Nick Chubb almost did. Remember, he left at like the fourth quarter.
No, that wasn't Nick Chubb. That was
Nick Chubb left right after, like immediately after the game.
That was the other quarterback, the running back.
No, it was Nick Chubb because everybody congratulated Nick Chubb for having a baby.
I thought it was the.
No, it was Nick Chubb. It was not Dearness Johnson. It was Nick Chubb.
No, it wasn't Dearness. He used to play for the Niners, or not the Niners.
You're talking Duke Johnson.
No, he went to the Jags.
That's Dearness Johnson.
No.
Okay, I'm done with you. All right, so stardom's in this game. I think you have to start Gardner against this defense. I actually think you can start Jake Browning against the Colts defense. I think he's going to struggle more than he did against Jacksonville, but I think you can start Jake Browning when you're looking at both quarterbacks.
Hyde.
Oh, my God, that was so long ago.
He had
so long ago, but Nick Chubb's was like 3 years ago.
I know he had a kid.
Yeah. You have both quarterbacks I think you could start in this game. I think based on production and based on turnovers. I think
and based on the Colts defense for the passing wise, I think you can definitely start.
I think Jake Browning you can start, but I think the Colts are better than Jacksonville defensively.
The Colts are exactly the same as the Buccaneers pretty much. They're one better than Buccaneers overall for defense.
Okay. So they're giving up a lot of yardage. Is what
this will be a similar Jake Browning game, I have a feeling. It's a lot of over the top.
I see an interception in this game.
Yeah, I don't
because I think they get more pressure.
Yards.
Well, I think they get more pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah.
Than Jacksonville does. So just basing it on their previous game. Jamar Chase, obviously, start him. T. Higgins, back, start him. Tight ends. Which tight end is the stardom on this team? Is it Irv Smith? Is it Drew Sample? Or is it can I remember the other kid's name? Tanner Hudson. Wow. Cannot believe I remembered that name.
Drew Sample.
You think Sample? I think Sample had got an injury in the last game, didn't he?
He's not on my injury report, sir.
Okay, that's fine. He doesn't have to be. I'm just asking. Just asking.
All right, so who are you taking in this game?
Well, hold on. Pittman, start him on the other side of the ball. I think Josh Downs, based on the targets and how much you're going to have to throw the ball in this game, I think you're going to start Josh Downs. Alec Pierce may get a touchdown for like 3 receptions. This is a lot like Drake London production for Alec Pierce. It's a tough one for me and him. Tight ends in this game, I think you're looking at, this is trying to think of the tight ends that are on this team now.
Moali Cox.
Jelani's been out all season. Kyle Granson. Yes, Moali is on the team. I get that.
He's a blocker, though.
Kyle Granson was 3 for 3 last week against Tennessee.
I just love his first name. Moali. Moali.
His first name's Mo. His last name's Allie Cox. But no, it'll be Kyle Granson. Just to let you know. And then I think Zach Moss will have huge production in this game.
Oh, without a doubt.
Ooh, are they playing?
Especially if the tackle is out.
Whatever you do, don't pick up Trey Sermon.
No.
Trey Sermon has proven that he is not capable.
No, he was with the Niners.
He got drafted by Arizona.
No, he got drafted by the
Niners. Got drafted by Arizona. Went to the Niners.
Came to the Colts.
And then came to the Colts.
He actually
went somewhere else.
Ohio State running back.
Yep. Yeah, so I don't like Trey Sermon.
I'm happy we agree there.
Zach Moss all day, baby. I think you have to start Zach Moss all day. Joe Mixon. Do you start Joe Mixon?
Yeah.
I think they have to because they've leaned on Joe Mixon since Joe Burrow's been out.
What did we say?
They've leaned on Joe Mixon since Joe Burrow's been out.
But they should have been doing that since the beginning of the season.
Maybe Joe Burrow wouldn't be injured. I don't disagree. Oh, also, news updates in the NFL. Cincinnati will not be fined. They did follow protocol for Joe Burrow's injury. There is no further investigation essentially going into this, but Cincinnati did follow protocol.
And Greedy Williams and the Browns have agreed to an extension. The numbers have yet to come out.
All right. I wasn't going to say that until we got to the Browns game.
Or not, what is it, Greedy or was it?
Way to jump it. It was Delpit.
Yeah, I said Greedy Williams.
You did. Greedy Williams is actually in Philadelphia. So
yeah, I'm sorry.
All right. Who do I have winning this game? Colts.
Okay, we differ. I'm taking Cincy.
Yeah, I got the Colts winning this game. I think production for the Colts offensively is probably equivalent to Jacksonville. And I think the defense for the Colts is better. And they probably won't miss a field goal. I mean, I think that's the only reason that Jacksonville lost is because of missed field goal, right?
Well, and the fact that...
no, it doesn't go to overtime. Jacksonville wins if he makes that field goal. It's like a 48-yard field goal.
You're not wrong.
So I think that the Colts win this game.
Okay, what's the score?
Let's go same. 34-31. Colts. I bet you any money this is...
Jeez.
The over-under is 44, and Cincy is only favored by 1.5. See, that's the line.
I have Cincy.
That's the line, though. Point and a half at home.
What did I say?
No. You said 3 is home field advantage.
Oh, no, I'm talking about betting-wise.
You're saying 3 is home field advantage. I think it's 1.5 because right now I would say that this is a 0-0.
So it's a pick'em.
So it's a pick'em.
I'm taking Cincy 24-21 at home.
That's you took 24-21?
45. I'm just a hit.
Wow, you just hit the over.
Again, we do not give financial advice here.
I'm going to be honest. I would slam the over in this game. What he said. I would slam the over in this game just because both these quarterbacks have high production. The only difference is I would possibly start the Cincinnati Bengals defense because Cincinnati Minshew has a habit of turning the ball over.
He is definitely a big boom bust quarterback at times where he looks for the big plays.
Yep.
You are not wrong at that at all.
But I think that wide receiver cores are very similar. Obviously, Jamar Chase is better than almost everybody on that field. But I think you have a bunch of number ones playing on these offenses. So that being said, moving on from this Indianapolis Colts. Yep, we're going to Jacksonville Browns. All right.
We're going to Cleveland.
Why don't you give the injuries?
So there's quite a lot.
Also, I don't think the weather's looking up today either. So
cornerback. Jacksonville out. Cornerback Christian Braswell. Cornerback Trey Herndon. Offensive tackle Walker Little.
This is Jacksonville injuries?
Yeah, tight end.
Wow.
Bretton Strange, cornerback Tyson.
These are
Campbell.
These are out.
Also, who is out is not listed is Christian Kirk. He is on the IR with a core injury for at least 4 weeks. I think 6 total. Core injuries are very hard to come back from. And questionable is Travis Etienne, Folorunso Fatukasi.
I don't know who you said. But I think he's a defensive player.
Right. Yes, he's a D-tackle. Running back, Ernest Johnson, and quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. And real quick, before you get to the Cleveland injuries, Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be, like you said, that he's going to put up.
So Trevor Lawrence will be going through a rigmarole of practice-style workouts before the game to see if he's capable of going in the game. So he's essentially questionable until kickoff.
Yep, and this is going to hurt the Browns. Is out is DeJuan Jones' knee. Questionable.
Just his knee? Is the rest of him playing?
Yeah, he's just running out there with a rubber leg.
You said out is DeJuan Jones' knee. Is the rest of him playing?
Questionable is Amari Cooper concussion, cornerback Cameron Mitchell hamstring, and offensive guard Wyatt Teller calf, and Denzel Ward.
Are they putting Jedrick
Wills on the right side?
On the right side?
You should.
Because the kid on the left side, I can't remember his name, has been playing great. That's why I was just asking.
You should.
All right, so I don't think we hurt at O-line because there's not a ridiculous especially with the injuries you just read that are out in Jacksonville. I'm not worried about their pass rush. And with Joe Flacco, I'm definitely not worried about their pass rush.
No,
also, keep in mind, they cut P.J. Walker this week. So DTR is the backup. What's the guy's name? Joe Flacco. Mr. Flacco is the starter at this point. Flacco, thank you for your time. We appreciate all the energy and effort you've put into Cleveland. That being said, stardoms this week. T-Law. I can't risk starting him. I can't risk him just going out in one play when he gets hit by Myles Garrett. Cannot risk it. Our entire defensive line is healthy. Myles is probably still on a snap count depending on the game situation. But if he gets hit by Dalvin Tomlinson, we might as well kiss that ankle goodbye. Dalvin Tomlinson is like 380 pounds. Like the dude, if he lands on him once, bye-bye ankle.
So if if they're down by double digits at halftime, I would not be surprised
if they put Beathard in.
If they put Beathard in.
I agree. Completely agree.
It's just I don't understand playing Trevor Lawrence because high ankle sprains, you're going for playoffs. You're trying to win your division, right?
Right.
Why risk the franchise guy? I know if you win last week,
but keep in mind, you always are playing for this year. I think that's the argument.
I get that, but
you're not paying T-Law yet. He hasn't made a contract
yet.
yet.
Guess what? If Myles Garrett or like you say, Zadarius Smith or Dalvin Tomlinson hit that ankle and it snaps, or if it hits again and it gets worse,
then he's out for at least 16 months. He's out for a year. I mean,
you saw what happened with Lamar Jackson a few years back. He was out 6 weeks.
That's Doug Peterson's decision.
And guess what? What does Trevor Lawrence do that's really well? He moves around in the pocket. He's not going to be able to move.
I agree. Which is why I don't start T-Law this week with this fast defense.
With this Browns pass rush. If you watch...
And Denzel Ward is healthy at this point from what we've heard.
If you're a Clemson or a Ohio State fan, you saw the way that Trevor Lawrence can move in the pocket. He's brought that to the NFL. You're taking away a big aspect of his game. I don't like it. I don't start him. I don't know why they are. Maybe they're just trying to screw
in
the Browns.
fantasy, I'm not starting him if that makes sense.
If I'm Doug Peterson, I don't start him either. Maybe they're just saying, hey, let's see if we can screw the Browns and start...
I'm going to tell you right now that I think players have more say than coaches on whether or not they're available to play.
But then
I think what T-Law is saying is that I'm better than Beathard at 60%. I'm playing.
Not when you can't move in the pocket, you're not.
I don't know. All
right, so on the other quarterback side,
go ahead.
For the Browns is Joe Flacco. So I would start him. I heard a lot of gripe about the Browns not starting DTR. Guess what, guys? This is playoff time. You cannot waste another year of this team's talent. This is the year that you need to go in and have a veteran that gets the job done. And Joe Flacco gives you that ability. You saw the confidence he had last week outside of the bad interception. You know what? He was trying to get a home run play to get the offense going because we were just stagnant for the entire second half. I'm not mad at that. DTR is young. He's a future Brown. They drafted him to be a part of the future. I don't want him out there. It's not that I don't like him. It's not that I don't trust him. I know he extends plays with his legs, but guess what? He is a small quarterback. Joe Flacco has played in the AFC North his entire career. He knows the AFC North. He's played in this weather. I wish. DTR played at UCLA. West Coast, warm weather. I believe he's from Las Vegas, Nevada area. He is just... I don't think he's ready to take on the role of a franchise quarterback that's pushing for a playoff win.
That being said, I completely agree with you, Wills. And also just keep in mind, guys, you have $35 million in cap space next year. If you can cut somebody and win a ring this year, you're going to do it. DTR is a backup quarterback for now. That's what he was brought in as, was a backup quarterback. There was no expectations for him to start week one. He was a future piece. He was going to be developed and probably shown off at some point and traded. That was the objective for DTR because you have Deshaun Watson for at least the next 3 years. And if Deshaun played anywhere comparable to what he had in Houston, you were going to extend him. That being said,
what's your scores?
Stardoms. We have to start ETN.
You got to start ETN.
You got to start ETN because the way the Browns defense has been against the run, especially against ETN's style of run, which is out of the backfield and out of the slot.
Yeah,
we struggle against that because we're a fast defense and we jump.
Yeah, so we over pursue. That's exactly what said. We jump. We over pursue. Myles Garrett's. I love Myles Garrett, but when it comes to run defense,
this is the best year he's ever had in run defense. So keep that in mind.
I know, but he still over pursues.
Also, I think you can start Amari Cooper. I think you can start David Njoku, especially with the tight end injuries. You have to start Elijah Moore.
Tillman?
Cedric Tillman's like an Alec Pierce for me right now.
He's Joe Flacco threw, I think he got targeted 3
or 4 times. I think it was 4. But Cedric Tillman, I like him. I like him more if Amari's out, but I don't think Amari's out.
I like Cedric more than
Elijah Moore? I completely disagree with you with 12 targets last week.
But he didn't produce with those 12.
I don't care. He was targeted 12 times, and most of them were off the page. They were off. They weren't on the same page.
That was the first week with the ones, and he had a second week with the ones.
This is also a week where Terrace Marshall. Is it Laviska?
Laviska Shenault.
Laviska Shenault because of the Christian Kirk injury. Now you put the ones on Calvin Ridley, right?
I think you start him, but I don't think he produces more than 12 points.
I think he produces more than Calvin Ridley. Because Calvin Ridley now has to deal with the number one
Calvin
corner.
Ridley. No, I agree with the Laviska. I don't think Calvin Ridley produces more than 12 points.
Okay. And then Evan Ingram, another tight end in this game that I think you have to start. You have to start Evan Ingram.
Because the Christian Kirk injury, he's going to get he's going to get targeted.
Well, and if Evan Ingram got targeted like crazy with Beathard, right? So if T-Law goes down, Evan Ingram's getting targeted.
But we've already said that about quarterbacks, backups, and everything.
Target tight ends, right? But I'm just
a big target.
I'm pointing that out that Evan Ingram has played well with Beathard in. Yeah. All right. So this game, because of the injuries, which especially some of those were recent injuries you just told me on the defense, I think that Cleveland takes this game away 28-17. So I don't even know.
We're on the same page.
Is that what you said? Under is 34 for this game.
I have Cleveland 24-20. And you have it at
28-17. I took a bigger spread. I took an 11-point spread. Yeah, they have the over-under of this game 34.5. Now, it is supposed to be rainy. So maybe that's the reason. And they only have the Browns, which shockingly they have the Browns favored at all, 2.5. And that's probably because of the injury. They expect T-Law not to play.
What did I tell you? Oh, at home it's 3.
No, it's 1.5.
It's 1.5.
I'm telling you, it's 1.5.
3. That's 3.
But according to Vegas, take the home team. So what are you saying?
Take straight. Do not take that line.
All right, Carolina, the worst team in the NFL.
You ready for these injuries? Good Lord.
No, actually, can we just say who's playing?
Not a lot.
Okay, Jameis Winston, starting, right?
Yeah.
Derek Carr is still questionable, right?
Yeah.
I told you he's had like 5 concussions this year.
Questionable. Juwan Johnson questionable.
So Taysom Hill and Chris Olave are projected to be out.
Chris Olave's questionable. Rashid Shaheed questionable.
No. Like I just got news on Twitter earlier this morning. They're not questionable. They're projected to be out.
This is insane. Hayden Hurst out. Deshaun Williams out. Cornerback Bradley Bozeman questionable. Yatir Gross-Matos questionable. Marquise Hayden questionable. Tight end Steven Sullivan questionable. Tight end Tommy Tremble questionable. New Orleans out. Isaiah Foskey defensive end. That's big. Kendra Miller doesn't matter. Questionable errors is followed. Derek Carr. Blake Group, their kicker. Taysom Hill. Juwan Johnson. Cameron Jordan. Chris Olave, you said, is out. Offensive guard Nick Saldivere is questionable, and Rashid Shaheed is questionable.
So, per Adam Schefter 9 hours ago, well, actually here, 4 hours ago, while the Saints' Derek Carr will play, so Derek Carr's playing, his tight end quarterback Taysom Hill is not expected to go, sources say, a big loss. In addition, Chris Olave, illness, will go. Wide receiver Rashid Shaheed thigh is likely out, and Cameron Jordan ankle should play.
You know who should pick up is A.T. Perry.
I disagree with that. And is Michael Thomas out for the year?
Well, Michael Thomas is a vagina. He's probably out. He needs to retire. He's a pussy. I've drafted this guy the last 3 years, and he's fucked
You know who I will say you could probably pick up in this game and start?
A.T. Perry.
Foster Moreau. I think you could start Foster Moreau in this game.
Well, Foster Moreau used to play for Vegas.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm saying you, because I think you could start Foster Moreau in this game.
Look at it. A.T. Perry, go see.
I'm not looking at A.T. Perry.
I think he has like 10 catches this year.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, he's been targeted 3 times last week, caught 1 ball. Targeted 2 times a week before that, caught 1 ball. Targeted 4 times a week before that, caught 2 balls.
So he likes balls.
A.T. Perry has had 1 touchdown, and that was against Minnesota, who has probably one of the worst secondaries in the NFL. And
Carolina has a good secondary, actually. So
yeah, I mean, he's projected 4.88 points this week.
I'm still saying you start A.T. Perry.
Michael Thomas, I think, is he out? New Orleans, Nick Underhill expects New Orleans Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas need to return this year. Thomas is currently on the IR. Okay, yeah, I forgot he was on the IR. All right, so Michael Thomas is currently out.
He's probably got a paper cut. He can't play.
All right, so I think Foster Moreau and Chris Olave you have to play. Like you got to start both those guys. And then for Carolina, I think you can obviously start Adam Thielen. Is it weird to say I'd start Bryce Young this week? Is it weird I say that the Carolina Panthers win Their
No, I just wrote 27-17.
I would say Carolina wins this game. I would take probably the under. Let's check it out.
I have a lot of 40-30 games.
We're going to check out the over-under on this game.
My lowest scoring game is the Rams game.
So the Saints are favored by 6. I would take Carolina just with the points.
Give me the point.
Right.
You can buy a point.
The over-under is 39. And I'm probably going to say 17-14 Carolina.
Okay. I have higher scoring.
Oh, we can't forget you have to start Kamara. Can you start Kendra Miller this week?
No, he's out.
Are you sure?
It says right here, out.
Oh, you did say that. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Ankle.
So I think you have to start Kamara.
He got hit with a hammer.
And then Miles Sanders, start him? Or is it Chuba?
Chuba. No, you start Chuba. Miles Sanders taking it back, bro. I started Chuba, and I think he got me 24 last week.
All right. So,
but let me ask you this. So I'm in a predicament. Chuba's on my bench. Gus is on my bench. I have Javonte Williams for the Broncos, and I have Josh Jacobs.
I think you have to start Chuba. Okay, so you said it one more time.
I have Chuba, Gus, Javonte Williams, and Jacobs. Who do I start? Pick 2.
Josh Jacobs.
And Javonte.
Javonte,
right?
yeah. I'd say
so
Javonte.
Gus and Chuba are on my bench.
Who does Denver play this week?
Denver plays the Rams.
Prime time.
Or Denver plays...
All right. Getting out of this game because this game doesn't matter. Houston going into New York, playing New York on their turf. This is going to be a very tough game for Houston because secondary for the New York Jets is very good with a solid pass rush. The only difference is the New York Jets do not have an offense to put on the field. Zach Wilson will start this week. Give me the injuries.
This is going to hurt. Dalton Schultz out. Noah Brown questionable with a knee injury. Offensive tackle George Fant, hip injury. Defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins, elbow and shoulder, pushing in the questionable list. And then New York, you go to Jason Brownlee, out. Aaron Rodgers, whatever. Offensive guard Wes Schweitzer. And questionable are John Franklin Myers. That's big for the DNs. And Breece Hall. And Carter Warren.
Breece Hall will play this week.
But John Franklin Myers, if he is out, that is big. He makes a big impact on that defensive line. And I would start Devin Singletary all day over Dameon Pierce. Devin Singletary has taken the starting role from Dameon Pierce.
Hey, Breece Hall quoted after the $43,000 fine. Hey, I'll just let him dive at my knees next time, I guess. Not like I tore my ACL or anything.
I love it. You know,
he's right. He's 100% right. He's 100% right.
So if they're going to take away the hip tackle, they got to take away ankle tackles, like what happened to Nick Chubb.
I completely agree.
He just explained what happened to Nick Chubb.
I think what the NFL should do is stop tackling players. Yeah, just stop.
He fished hockey.
Fucking ridiculous.
I got your
Be
flag.
men.
I got your flag.
All right. You said stardoms. Oh, no. Okay, you said injuries. Okay, so stardoms in this game. CJ Stroud. I think you're going to have to start him because he's been a top 10 quarterback.
Nico all day long.
Nico, you have to start. Brevin Jordan. I think you're going to have to start him.
Noah Brown, if he's healthy, you got to start him. With Tank Dell out, he's going to produce. John Mechie, maybe. That's a reach, but maybe.
This could be a game where I think they excel on the slot coverage where you could start Dameon Pierce.
I don't like Dameon Pierce.
I'm just saying it's a game where you could start Dameon Pierce. Are you going to start Singletary over... I don't even know if I start a running back in this game.
I start Singletary. Okay. Involve him in the passing.
Right. I definitely don't start Zach Wilson.
Singletary is taken over. Singletary is being used how Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills should have used him. And He is showing it off with DeMeco Ryan.
Correct. I completely agree with you. Keep in mind, Brevin Jordan is the tight end.
Jordan, I like him.
I think Brevin Jordan might be a sleeper. Actually, I am on a dynasty league with a 22 deep bench, and Brevin Jordan was on the waivers.
12
so
points.
I immediately picked him up and started him.
12 points. Minimum 12.
I would say 12 to 15 because the way with Tank Dell and Dalton Schultz, who are two of his favorite targets, not in the game.
Those are 15 targets.
Easily. They throw about 38 to 45 times a game.
15 targets that are off the board now that are going to go to
Noah Brown and Brevin Jordan.
I mean, Nico had, I think, 14 catches last week for like 200 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Where is Brevin Jordan? Who is their third wide receiver? Oh, Robert Woods. He's healthy.
What did I say about Robert Woods?
It could be a Robert Woods week, though. Because he produced the first 4 weeks of the year.
But I said that halfway through the year, he's going to fall off.
Disagree with him. I would probably say Robert Woods is almost startable this week. Especially
over John Mechie and Brevin.
No, over Noah Brown, because if Noah Brown's on a snap count, I would say it goes Nico, Woods, Jordan, Mechie. Brown.
Woods,
Mechie's that downfield guy. Might get production.
Williams.
He might get production. It just hasn't been there.
I hope he pops off though, because
I would love to see him pop off. I love seeing stories like this,
especially after his cancer. He beat cancer. I mean, it would be great to see him.
I would love to see him pop off. He got 3 targets last week.
For the other side of the ball, who are you starting? The Jets.
Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson. I think with the tight end injuries, Tyler Conklin. Yep.
Okay, I like that.
I think Xavier Gibson has been producing more and more week in and week out. I would like to thank Aaron for giving us a heads up on that player who we weren't paying attention to. 6 targets last week, 5 receptions, 12.8. So I think Xavier Gibson, because he doesn't get number 1 corner coverage, has kind of shown up week in and week out. So he might be a guy that's flex if you're hurting a receiver with buys or injuries or.
You're gonna hate this for me, but I'm gonna take Houston and win 31-10, even with the secondary.
Really? I'm taking Houston to win this game, especially because of how tight this conference is. I take Houston. I think the Jets at this point are kind of out of it. I would say Houston wins this game. The over-under is 33, so you took Houston to cover the over.
I'm at 31.
I will take this game 24. Poor Zach Wilson, man. 10.
Oh yeah, and Zach Wilson's starting. I feel bad for Zach Wilson. If I'm Zach Wilson, I tell him to eat salt.
24-10 Houston. That's all I got there. I don't think there's any more to talk about in this game.
You're just hitting the over.
Yeah, I'm barely hitting the over, and I think that's actually what they're thinking, to be honest with you, is that same score. All right, moving on from this game, we are going into the 4 o'clock. That was all the 1 o'clock games. Getting into the 4 o'clocks, we have me screwing up on graphics.
You have
Minnesota
yep. Las Vegas. Injuries, these are questionable, are Ed Ingram, offensive guard, and Theo Jackson, defensive back illness. Las Vegas, out. Colton Miller, offensive tackle, questionable. Max Crosby, knee. Defensive back, Brandon Faxon, and linebacker Kane Miller. I like Minnesota. You're getting JJ back.
So per Ian Rapp, 5 hours ago, Max Crosby listed as questionable with knee. Told the insiders this week that he'll play.
He just had swelling.
If I've got a heartbeat.
So I actually saw a podcast where Max Crosby woke up and his knee was like double or triple the size it normally was. He had to go to the hospital, get the fluid drained, and then they found bacteria in the fluid, so he was put on antibiotics. And he still played. Max Crosby is him. That dude's a dog.
Max Crosby will play. Might be on a snap count, but he will play. And if he's on the field, there's huge production. And I think he will be penetrating that Josh Dobbs face mask.
Excuse me?
I think he gets 2 sacks today.
Do it.
He's faster than Josh Dobbs realizes. And I still will take starters in this game. JJ is active. I think you can start JJ week 1 back. Jordan Addison, because JJ's going to have all the coverage, will probably have the same, if not better, fantasy points because of what he's been capable of doing in the open field. Alexander Madison is a definite stardom just because the Raiders kind of give up on the run a little bit because they over-pursue, kind of like the Browns. And Josh Dobbs, to me, is a questionable stardom. I think for a lot of people out there, there's a lot of injuries at quarterback. I think you kind of have to start Josh Dobbs, but it's a questionable for me. TJ Hawkinson, I think you're going to start TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, you have to start TJ.
I don't know if Aiden O'Connell can put up more than 24 points. I don't know if I've seen it yet. Devonta Adams is a stardom. I think this is a week with the injuries. You might have to start Michael Mayer. And then Jacoby Myers is also a stardom for me. Josh Jacobs is also a stardom. Aiden O'Connell is not.
Who do you start, Cortland Sutton or Addison? They're going up against...
I actually might start Addison over Cortland Sutton.
It's hard.
because you have.
I have 90% of the Minnesota offense.
Who's Denver play?
The Chargers.
Is that a 1:00 game?
Did we miss that game? No. That's a late night. It's 4:00. We're good. It's after the.
I'm on the wrong page. I'm on the wrong page. No, I'm on the wrong page.
Sorry,
All
I
right.
shouldn't have brought that up.
No, that's my fault. I was on the wrong page. Like, where the hell is this game at? So I'm gonna take Minnesota in this game, 28-24.
We're close. I have Minnesota winning 27-17.
And again, Minnesota wins this week. It's going to put them possibly one up on Green Bay. And if Detroit loses this week, which is, by the way, maybe I'm trending towards my picks.
I did say Detroit does look like they're pretenders right now. All right, so let's move on to the Seahawks-Niners game.
Sounds good.
Another great divisional game with lots of injuries for Seattle. And San Francisco. Questionable are Jordan Brooks, linebacker, cornerback Trey Brown, running back Zach Charbonnet, wide receiver Dwayne Estridge, defensive tackle Jaron Reed, quarterback Geno Smith, running back Kenneth Walker. Now San Francisco out is defensive tackle Eric Armstead. That's big. Tight end Ross Dwelly. Don't care. Wide receiver Ray McLeod. He's a returner for them. And doubtful are Spencer Buford.
All right.
Darnell Luther Jr. and Elijah Mitchell.
All right. So screw Elijah Mitchell. Questionables for Seattle are trending towards playing. They actually had full participants at practice on Friday, were Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. So both are looking like they will be active during the game.
Geno.
And that was per Ian Rapp. I would assume Geno is on that field. I'm looking it up right now. I apologize. I had no idea that you said he was questionable. NFL game this year won't rule Geno out until pregame workout. Same situation as Trevor Lawrence. I think this means that because it's a 4:00 game, you might want to look at starting somebody else. Because that means he is going to not be ruled out until, was it 2 o'clock or something?
I'm going to tell you right now, if Jake Browning is somehow on your waiver wire, go start Jake Browning over Geno Smith.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I would start Josh Dobbs over Geno Smith right now with that
JJ
potential.
Back and you had the bye week for them to all work out at number ones.
I would argue that this game is
playoff implications.
This is going to be a rough game, bro. That's going to be a rough game. Stardoms this week in this game I would start is DK and possibly JSN. Outside of that, I have to start Kenneth Walker. I don't have another running back, but I don't know if I would start anybody else on that Seattle offense.
You start Debo, obviously you start everybody on the Niners offense, but that's pretty easy to say, right?
Yeah, I think you start Debo, Ayuk,
I'm starting
CMC,
Brock Purdy over Jordan Love.
And Kittle and Brock Purdy. I think you start, all those guys. Yep.
Yeah, and you're at home. I have
Do you start Juwan Jennings, though? Because he had a good game last week.
So Juwan Jennings, he struggled with Debo gone, but now that Debo's back, he is creating more opportunities. Like I said, there's always going to be a guy that's open, right?
There will, but I don't know. In this game with the corners, I think that Juwan Jennings isn't better than their third corner.
I do.
I don't. But we can agree to disagree there. That's fine.
You got to remember, they have Kittle. They're still going to have to cover Kittle.
Yeah, but he's going to get covered by a linebacker, which is why I say he's going to produce, right?
The problem is Kittle doesn't do good against linebackers because Jordan Brooks is out for Seattle. That's the linebacker that would cover Kittle.
That's why I'm saying he's going to produce. I think Kittle produces 100%.
You're going to see Debo's going to run a lot of over top to pull those corners away from Brandon Ayuk and Juwan Jennings.
Here's what's going to happen in this game. San Francisco's going to go up by 10.
And then run.
They're going to lean on the run.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm at 24-10 Niners.
I got to give him more 10 if Geno's playing.
I don't think Geno plays.
I will go 28-17 Niners. Like I said, my only stardoms, I don't know if I start Tyler Lockett in this game. And because they target 3 different tight ends, I don't know if I start any of their tight ends in this game. DK, I think, is more of a stardom. And I'm in a tough situation, but I am starting DK, Amari Cooper, Josh Downs, and because I lost Tank Dell, so that one hurt me. And Mike Evans this week. So it's going to be tough for me.
Buffalo versus...
Yeah, now, the reason why I said this game here, the San Fran-Seattle game, I think San Fran is easily the second to first best team in the NFL right now, the Ravens and San Fran, especially the way the Ravens or the San Francisco 49ers have been trending. And I think it's the Ravens and San Fran are the 1 and 2 team in the NFL right now.
I don't disagree at all because the San Francisco 49ers made the Eagles look like child.
Yes. Yep. All right, Buffalo going into Kansas City.
Injuries. There's only a few questionable. Cornerback Kier Elam, tight end
Kyer. It's 2 eyes, right?
Yeah. Kyer. Dawson Knox is questionable. Kansas City out. Safety Brian Cook, Isaiah Pacheco, Donovan Smith, and Drew Tranquil. That is big. You are missing a big safety, a big running back, a big offensive tackle, and your linebacker that would cover a tight end. So, with that being said, I hate to say this, but I think Buffalo would win.
I don't disagree. I don't hate to say it. I think that for all the harassment that Buffalo gets in this game, ever since they got rid of their OC, James Cook has looked better. Isaiah Pacheco being out in this game, Jerick McKinnon is still going to look good because he's a capable running back, but he's like 30? I have Buffalo winning this game, but before I get there, I'm going to get into stardoms. I think you can be cautious of starting Josh Allen, but because of the running upside, I think you're going to start Josh Allen.
You're going to start Josh. You're going to start Cook. You're going to start Diggs. You're going to start Dalton Kincaid.
Dalton Kincaid. Do not start Dawson Knox.
No, he's questionable. I don't start him regardless.
He just got designated off IR, so we don't know what's going to happen with Davis. I do not start Gabe Davis.
Oh yeah, you're not at home. Never mind.
Yeah.
I would still start Gabe Davis. I think he's good for about.
I don't think they let anything over top. They have a better safety than you realize.
Yeah, but their safety's out.
It's one of the lowest scoring defenses in the NFL. Right?
Yes.
So they're second, I think.
Defense. Fourth.
17.3 points per game. Lowest scoring defenses in the NFL. All right, so keep that in mind. Now, on the flip side, I think someone who is trending up is Justin Watson. I think he might be a flex option. And then Rashee Rice is their number 1 receiver. Travis Kelce is an obvious stardom. Is
Taylor Swift going to be there?
I don't think that matters. And I'm kind of done with the Taylor Swift crap. Now that she's a Time Magazine's Person of the Year, let's just move on with our lives. And she's reached the highest expectations of a human person. Okay? Even though she does nothing but sing and swallow.
Are you mental?
Moving on from there. Well, she just called everybody in the NFL Brads and Chads, so she can go screw herself.
Yeah, that's not good.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Now, oh yeah, you have to start Patrick Mahomes. Let me not forget to say that.
That's implied.
So Buffalo, I think, wins this game. They're higher producing offense.
I have 24-21.
28-24 is actually my score. That's funny because I was going high. But I wasn't sure how high to go. The over-under on this game is...
You're at 52. I'm at 45.
Kansas City, where the hell are you? I can't find the game. All right, scores and matchups. Kansas City, here it is. All right, over-under this... actually, they're only favored by 1.5 at home.
Wow. Because of all the injuries, that's why.
Nope. Because they suck. Kansas City.
Yeah, they do.
Finally, Vegas caught up to the trend.
The fact that we're 1 game behind them is quite telling when we're missing our running back.
All right.
Quarterback.
Here we go. This is the game you've been talking about a little bit about. Denver going into L.A. This is a huge game for the L.A. Chargers. And let you get in the injuries first.
So Denver, the only injury you have is questionable is Samaje Perine. And Los Angeles out. Offensive guard Zach Bailey. Cornerback Dean Leonard. Wide receiver Josh Palmer. Questionable. So those guys are
They just brought Josh Palmer off the IR.
Yeah, he's not going to play until next week. Oh, my God. Oh, shit. Linebacker Amen Ogbong Begma.
All right, we'll just linebacker out. Okay?
Linebacker out.
I can't see it, so.
Look at the
No,
defensive
you're
tackle.
good. You're good.
Adio Ogbane.
Oh, my God.
Look at get these. There's no way.
You're in LA. Don't bring the laptop over here. You're fine. No, get that over here. Get that out of here.
Try to read it.
Agbonya.
Who's the
Tito Agbonya? Yeah, I don't know. Amen. Literally his first name's Amen. We're just gonna go with Amen. All right.
I wasn't an English major. You can tell.
All right. So Denver, I think Russell Wilson's going to have a field day against this defense, but I think that the Chargers will finally show up today. I think stardoms in this game are Russell. I don't know if I like any of the tight ends still in Denver, especially because of the injuries. Cortland, Jerry, and then I think Jaleel with P right now, it's going to have some production. And you said Javonte Williams, right? Javonte Williams is definite stardom.
Yes.
Chargers, man, Austin Eckler's scaring me, but Denver does not have a good defense in the slot. So I would say Austin Eckler's a stardom this week. Donald Parham might be a start. Yeah, let's go Parham as a stardom.
What about Gerald Everett?
Oh, you know what? I am starting Gerald Everett. You're right. Right, it is Gerald Everett. I am starting Gerald Everett this week because Denver is not going to get tight ends. You could possibly start both, especially with the injuries in L.A., right? With the wide receivers, you only have essentially Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnston. So I would say they probably run a lot of 2 tight end sets. So Keenan Allen stardom. I still don't trust Quentin Johnston, but maybe he'll pop off one of these days. And then that's not Sony Michel.
Samaje Perine.
No. The running back behind Austin Eckler. Joshua Kelly is still not a stardom at this point.
Nope.
They just have not been able to run the ball in LA, and I don't know why. So let's leave it at that. Winners for me in this game, and this is probably going to screw up my record this week, but I'm going to go the Chargers will win this game. It'll be a boxing match, and it'll be 24-21 in overtime. Chargers.
I have the Broncos winning 27-24. 48 overall. You have 45 overall.
And the over-under in this game is 44.
So I'm at the over. You're at the over. Take the over.
Barely on the over.
We don't give financial advice. Just a reminder.
Yeah. We just don't want to get sued here on this show ever. So that is it for the 4 o'clock games. Getting into prime time. This will be some fun. We have 2 Monday night games and 1 Sunday night game. Sunday night game, you have Philly going into Dallas. The battle of a lifetime has happened every single year towards the end of the season. And there's one team that always comes out with the win.
And
do you know that team?
Philly.
Seems to be Philly. For the last 6 matchups towards this game, it seems to end up being Philly. Go ahead. Give me what you got today.
Philly has no injury designations.
Philly's healthy! Dallas Goedert is expected to play this week. I don't know how much he will do. Ryan, I owe you Chipotle. I told you it would be 2 more weeks at least.
Dallas out or as followed. Offensive tackle Mac. Let's go. Questionable are Rico Dowdle, running back, and tight end Peyton Hendershot. Peyton Hendershot is big because he is used in a lot of blocking plays.
All right.
I'm gonna let's do start them first. Obviously, you're starting Jalen Hurts and Dak.
Correct.
Obviously, you're starting A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, and Devonta Smith. And I would start Brandon Cooks.
Do you start Fulgham?
No.
Do you start Schoonmaker?
No. I would start Ferguson. That's what
I meant. Ferguson. Jake
yes.
Ferguson. Why did I say Fulgham?
I don't know. Jake Ferguson, yes, I start him.
I like Schoonmaker over Ferguson, but that's just because he's been producing the last couple weeks.
So if Peyton Hendershot is out, I could see Schoonmaker being more of a blocking guy this week. That's the only reason.
Schoonmaker in the last couple weeks, 1 for 1.
He's a blocker.
2 for 1, 2 for 2 with a touchdown.
He's a blocker. A lot of times, they try to leave him as like an extra offensive lineman.
Wow.
Jake.
Okay, yeah, you got to start Jake. 8 targets last week.
So,
wow.
Stardoms for running back wise.
Jake Ferguson has turned into tight end 9.
Yeah. The system produces tight ends. They're not missing Dalton Schultz, personally.
They were for the first half of the year.
Until they found out there's a guy in Jake Ferguson.
And they drafted him last year, not this past year, the year before that. So he's a second-year player, and then Schoonmaker's a first year. Yep.
So Obviously, I would start both Tony Pollard and
DeAndre Swift.
Defensive sides of the ball. This is going to be a back and forth game all week. Records are made to be broken. I'm taking Dallas. As much as I hate Dallas, I'm taking Dallas.
I can't take Dallas.
Because I hate Philly just that much.
Yeah, I understand that. I can't take Dallas, and the reason why I can't, he did say pretty much start everybody on both these offenses.
Yeah, this is going to be
You're starting CD.
Scoring.
Do you start Michael Gallup? I'd say no. Brandon Cooks is a solid number 2 at this point. Yeah. I agree. I think it goes CD, Cooks, and Ferguson, or CD, Ferguson, Cooks.
This is my highest game of the week. I'm taking Dallas to win 34-31.
This one scares me, right? Because I don't think there's any way Philly loses back-to-back games. I really don't. I take Philly in this game. The only issue I have about this game is the production that Dallas has had at home, right? On defense and offense.
Yeah, Philly's kind of been in the same aspect, though. The last few weeks, they've been outgained and still won outside of last week.
But I will say that Philly is better at producing on the ground and controlling time of possession
than Dallas, yes. Because they got rid of Zeke.
Yeah, and I think that when you look at this situation, I think Philly wins this game. I'm going to give it to Philly. It's going to be a close one. I'm going to go 28-27 Philly. So, and to be honest, I know there's a bet usually online where it says each team scores a touchdown every quarter or something like that. This is kind of one of those games where I can see a score every quarter.
Yeah. Or there's a score. No. There's a bet that is. I had it last week and I won. Each team to score each half. To score.
I'd take that one. Yeah, I'll take that.
I would take that in this game. I would take it in the Houston game and probably the Minnesota game.
All right, and now moving on to the first Monday Night Football game for all you out there, and that is Green Bay going into New York. The first shit show team on Monday Night Football is the New York Giants, who are starting Tommy DeVito. We did not coordinate that, just an FYI. Yeah, so Green Bay is going to lose this game mainly because Christian Watson has been announced out, and since they've been producing offensively, Christian Watson has been healthy.
And you have a linebacker. We'll go through it. There's a lot of injuries that are going to plague the Packers.
Go ahead. Go for it.
Like you said, Christian Watson out. Doubtful. Quay Walker, linebacker. Questionable. Jair Alexander, cornerback. Running back, Aaron Jones. Darnell Savage, safety. Cornerback, Eric Stokes. So you're missing 3 secondary pieces, possibly.
Tommy DeVito, no picks and 5 touchdowns. I'm just kidding.
He looks better than Zach Wilson. New York injuries, out. Evan Neal, offensive tackle. That's going to hurt him.
Looks better than Daniel Jones.
Daniel Bellinger, illness. Paris Campbell, questionable. Dexter Lawrence, defensive lineman, questionable. Sean Robinson, defensive lineman, questionable. Isaiah Simmons, linebacker, questionable. I'm going to take the Packers. But I'm going to take the Packers to win in overtime by a field goal, 21-17. Or, sorry, 24-21.
I have a serious question, and I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
What teams has he played? Not
so the Packers are 2-5 away.
Jesus. Oh, they are away. Shit. Fuck.
So I think I'm gonna take the Giants mainly because my sister said that they're gonna struggle against the Giants.
Is she going to the game?
No.
Damn.
And yeah, I don't think she'd want to go to the New York game anyways, or New Jersey game anyways. So yeah, I'm gonna take that the Giants win this game 24. Hey, let's have fun with this game. Let's go 24-19 Giants.
Now I'm going to mess my math out. I can't do math.
Safety.
34. I can't do math. 43.
What do you... So the Green Bay Packers
I was a history guy, okay? Leave me the fuck.
Hey, you know what's funny? Covers.com screwed this up. But all right, so Green Bay Packers are favored by 6.5 going into the Giants.
Give me the Giants.
I'll take the Giants with the
Give
points.
me those points.
Yep,
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's a field goal game.
Yep, I agree with that. Tommy DeVito, I think you can start this week.
Yeah, I would start Tommy DeVito over.
I also think you could start
Zach
Jordan
Wilson.
Love this week, right?
Yeah.
I think you definitely start Jordan Love this week.
Jordan Love's like quarterback 10.
I don't know, and I did not want to check that until you said it. So, Jordan Love is quarterback 9 in PPR.
What about Brock Purdy? I have him too after losing Kirk Cousins and Joe Burrow. My season has been great.
Brock Purdy is quarterback 7. Oh, by the way, no, I'm not going to get in there. All right, so stardoms, Saquon, start him.
Shaquan?
A.J. Dillon?
No.
You don't think so?
I just...
What about James Robinson?
I wish they would play him. I wish.
I don't understand that either.
I wish.
Jaden Reed?
Yes.
All right, so Jaden Reed, start him.
Jaden Reed.
Romeo Doubs?
Start him.
Is Musgrave back or no?
No, it's... Who's the... Shit. No, Musgrave is back. He's not on the injury report. He should be back.
Well, was he on IR? Uncertain. Yeah, he's still on IR.
Who's the backup?
Come on, you got this. Tucker Kraft.
Oh.
That's the other rookie.
I would start Tucker Kraft.
That's the other rookie. Yeah, I like Tucker Kraft. Dontavian Wicks. Does he start him?
Yeah. With Watson out, I think
They've been using him as a running.
I think he has 3 or 4 targets.
Well, they've been using Wicks as like James Robinson. So like.
Well, he's the rookie, so I guess you might as well you have C.
Yeah.
He's a rookie.
I agree. I think you can probably almost start everybody on the Green Bay Packers offense this week. I think the Christian Watson injury is going to keep them from winning the game.
Yeah.
So, but I do say Green Bay getting a safety on Tommy DeVito, which will be weird because that'll be a coverage sack essentially because you just told me their entire secondary's out in Green Bay. But we'll see. I think a lot of those guys are questionable. It is Sunday early. A lot of those guys might still practice today before the game tomorrow.
And now we go.
Getting into the second worst game of the week on
With
Monday Night Football.
With 2 under 500 teams.
Tennessee going into Miami. Can Mike Vrabel upset the Miami Dolphins?
So the injuries are as follows for Tennessee. Out Christian Fulton, cornerback. Defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons. Tight end Josh Wiley. Questionable are defensive tackle Tier Tart.
That's a great name.
Not injured, but personnel. Miami out. Offensive guard Robert Hunt. Questionable offensive tackle Taron Armstead. Running back Teron.
Sorry.
And running back Christopher Brooks. Never heard of that guy. And Javon Holland, safety. That could
Chris
be big.
Brooks, he's a pretty good linebacker.
Oh, he's a running back.
Oh, they said. Oh, yeah. I thought you said linebacker. That's funny.
They do have a Brooks.
My bad. Oh, I'm thinking Carl Brooks.
Carl Brooks.
That's what I'm thinking.
Javon Holland, that's going to be both his knees. Knee.
Javon Holland will be a tough one.
/knee. So both his knees are just...
Yep. He at least DeJuan Jones is showing up with one knee. See, that's the argument. One knee.
This dude's got rubber knees. Stretch Armstrong over here.
All right, so stardoms this week.
I think you start Tua.
Achane, Mostert, start them both.
Yeah, I think you start both. Obviously, you start...
Tyreek can't not start Tyreek. He's the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL, number 1 fantasy point player.
Waddle.
Jalen Waddle, I think, is a stardom. And then on the opposite side, D-Hop's going to be PPR monster because they have to throw it to somebody. Chig drops 90% of what he's thrown, so I don't know if I like Chig. That's a good question on the wide receiver side.
Obviously, you start Derrick Henry.
I think Westbrook Akine might be another guy that you're going to have to start just because of the targets. Like, somebody's got to get the targets.
Aki.
I mean, who gets targets on this team?
Not Traylon Burks. He's a bum.
Traylon Burks has been out.
Garbage.
Kyle Phillips? No, I don't know who gets the ball.
He's a white guy.
I think it's just Tyjae. Oh, I forgot about Josh Wiley.
He's out.
Oh, he was out? Oh, then I guess you have to start Chig.
Yes.
Right?
I know, sorry. Yeah, Josh Wiley is out.
You're right. You have to start Chig. All right, good call. He's the number 2 wide receiver on the team is Chig.
Good luck.
Good luck.
I'm taking Miami.
I would start 90 other tight ends over Chig at this point, and I'm a huge Chig fan.
I would start 90 other tight ends.
He's tight end 25. And that's just because he's on the field. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough for me.
I'm taking Miami to win 30.
Do you start Will Levis just because he's got to sling it?
Yeah.
Can you?
I don't think they score more than 13.
I am going to take you know what's funny?
I'm taking Miami 38-13.
This will be a battle between Jalen Ramsey and DeAndre Hopkins, and I think DeAndre Hopkins is better than Jalen Ramsey, but I don't know if Will Levis knows how to throw DeAndre Hopkins open. So I think that might be a struggle there. This is tough for me. You know what? I'm going to take Miami 100%, but I'm not going to give that score. I'm going to go 28-14 because of Derrick Henry. I don't think Miami has an answer for Derrick Henry. So I think Derrick Henry is a definite stardom in this game. Definite stardom. And then Tajay out of the backfield, but is he dealing with injury this week?
Tajay Spears.
Oh no, Derrick Henry was dealing with injury.
Yeah.
But they already said he wasn't in concussion protocol. I would take Tajay also in this game too to start. I mean, in Indy, he put up 12.8 points, 16 carries, 75 yards. Tajay has been producing on the field consistently. So I think you can start Tajay this week also. All right. I think that is it for Monday Night Football. I know you guys, we will not be here tomorrow, but what we'll try to do is follow Wheels on Facebook.
I'll try to.
And he will try his best to update any injuries and anything we got going on. You can update from your phone, just do a quick video or something like that. I will be out of town, so I can't do that. But we will be back. I actually kind of leave this up to you guys. If you want a Tuesday evening show, please let us know. We can do a Tuesday evening show for waiver wires before the waiver wire well, actually, I think the waiver wire clears Tuesday morning. Well, mine clears Wednesday. So if you want, we can do a waiver wire show, right?
Yeah, we can do a waiver show.
A waiver wire show for some people out there that might need some signings. Or we can, it'll be a short show either way, and we could do like a freestyle of something like that. But I know we will be back on Wednesday, and then we are doing a Friday, a fun day Friday, just chilling, and we're going to try to have some topics to kind of go over. We're going to try to get some more people in the studio and have some conversations. But that being said, that is all I have for Sunday. What do you got for me, Wheels? Take it away.
Only bet what you can lose, and only lose with what you can bet. As a reminder, we not do give financial advice on the show. We simply tell you what we feel might happen. Do you have any would you rather or guess that player this week?
I do not. No, that's just chilling there.
Okay, sorry.
I am bringing that segment back. It's going to take me a few to get that segment set up. I have some free time now coming with my schedule change, so I will have some more segments set up for you guys and some more games set up for you guys. I hope you guys will be on the show, and we will have some more conversations. That is more off-season talk. We going to lead into the draft and going to lead into the off-season and the playoffs. We're going to get into that stuff. It's just too much right now with two people in the studio. If we could get one other person, I'd be able to do more of that stuff, and as of right now, it's kind of complicated. But that being said, I hope you guys do win your bets this week. Good luck to all your teams out there, and please have a wonderful week going into the holiday. One more caveat for all you guys out there, this is a tough season. It is the holiday season. I know for those that have lost people, it's tough. For those that have new people coming in, keep in mind, be around people, be understanding, and be very empathetic of what people are going through this time of the year, because there are people missing from families a lot of times, and it can be exhausting to have to think about those memories all the time. I know that I myself always look towards the bright side of things. I'm hugely optimistic, so I have a new baby girl that's going to be coming to the world next year, and then
congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Just want to say it live on the show.
Yes, I did.
I am looking forward to those things in life, and I always try to open my arms to those around us, and I know Wheels is kind of the same way.
Yes,
so
sir.
That being said, we will see you guys later this week. Have a wonderful day.